Welcome back to London Go. Joe Webb came to prominence in 2012 when he won a Saatchi competition with his first collages. His work has gone to be used as album covers for the likes of Tears for Fears and Janelle Monáe, as well as inspiring music videos for Coldplay. His pieces combine the vintage with the futuristic to create powerful and often political messages. Now he's hosting his first retrospective. Joe's here now. Now, do you want to start? The show's called Lost and Found. Tell us the thinking behind that.
Yeah, it was kind of, I was lost for a while in a job I didn't really like. I was working as a graphic designer and I was on a computer a lot. And I kind of wanted to find my calling, really. And so I started working in my spare time, making collages by hand as an outlet to get away from the computer. And I found that they started to work really nicely, and I entered them into a competition with Saatchi Gallery, and to my surprise it won. And before I knew it, I was working full-time as an artist.
It must be quite hard as an artist to pull yourself away from the computer when it's so easy and things can get done so quickly that way.
It is, yeah. I kind of worked at a rule where I just won't use a computer at all. So the collages all have to be handmade, so I don't have any options to resize them in Photoshop or edit them at all, apart from cutting out from a magazine and putting it with something else. And I find that gives it more strength in a way.
I'm looking through some of these, and space takes a sort of strong theme, yeah. The cosmos. Tell us what it is about that interests you. I'm
just drawn to it, really, as a theme. I think it's a real leveller, you know. You can look out to space and start to sort of realise that we're just a really small part in a huge cosmos, and it kind of just puts a lot of things into perspective.
It does. Now, we're going to pull out a couple of pictures of yours in particular. The first we're going to look at is called Candy Bomb.
Yep.
Tell us where the idea for this came from.
Candy Bomb originally is a true story from World War II. At the end of World War II, there was a guy who drove his bomber plane over Berlin and dropped sweets for the children to celebrate that the war had ended. And I thought that was quite a poignant image, because it's often during conflicts and wars that it's children who suffer. So it's a reminder of that fact, but also it's an image of hope because of the story of the Berlin candy bomber.
Quite sort of powerful images there, and just worth reminding, you're finding these in old magazines. You're literally just finding those things and cutting them and finding things that work together rather than creating any of this yourself.
Yeah, a lot of it is sourced from sort of 1950s advertising images, and I find that's really great subject matter to subvert and play with, because you know, that sort of advertising projected a really sugary, sweet version of reality, and I kind of like to play with that and sort of show another side to it.
We're showing us a little video here now how you put this stuff together. Tell us a little bit about this process of what you're doing here. This dust.
Yeah, this is adding diamond dust, which is a really sparkly material. It's a bit like glitter, but even more sparkly, and it works really well. I add it to my screen prints, which again, they're sort of handmade prints and not digital, and it just adds that sort of extra element and that extra depth and shimmer to sort of like space-based images that I create.
Now, here is a space-based image.
Yes.
This is called Stirring Up a Storm. Tell us about the thinking behind this one.
Okay, yeah, again, it's a social, political comment on how we as humans are affecting the climate, and how, you know, like our activity has a knock-on effect to the weather and causing storms and possibly climate change, and so it's really a demonstration on that, and it shows how I can just put two images together, and sometimes it just creates an idea which is really relevant to what's happening today.
Very powerful, that as well. Joe Webb, thank you very much indeed. You can see his show, it's called Lost and Found, a retrospective, and it's on at the For Art's Sake Gallery in Ealing until the 20th of May. Now, after famously setting fire to his entire